Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the next episode in my adulting series. Today I want to teach you guys about credit and credit score. Basically, how you build a credit score, what is a credit score, how does it go down, what implications that has on your life. It's kind of a big deal and a lot of people don't know about it because this is something that they don't teach at school. Sure, I know the Pythagorean theorem and how to find the circumference of a circle, but I was never taught what a credit score is. So I'm just here to teach you some of the basics. And again, I'm not an expert, I'm young, I'm 21, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I've learned a little bit, so I'm gonna teach you what I've learned so far. So your credit is basically the ability of someone to pay back money that is lent to them. Basically like your trustworthiness. So a good credit score shows that you have a good history of paying back things on time, and then you will probably pay back things on time in the future. You need a good credit score to get a loan, rent an apartment, rent a car, buy a house, get a mortgage. Also, having a higher credit score will allow you to have higher limits on your credit cards, so then you can actually purchase more things. If you have the money, of course. And how much money you have, it does not affect your score whatsoever. So basically, your credit score is a score between 300 and 850. So what is a good credit score? Pretty much what I've heard is anything above 700 is pretty good. That's fine. You should be able to rent a car, rent an apartment and stuff with that kind of credit score. If you are above 740, that's like really good. If you're above 800, that's like, oh my gosh, really, really good. If you are below 700, that's like okay. If you're starting to get below 670, or if you're getting below 600, then that's not so good. So if you're below that mark, I would recommend trying to build your credit score through the credit cards or loans. Now you may be thinking, oh, I'm fine with my money. I pay things back. I pay my rent every month. I pay my utilities every month, da da da. But you could still have a bad credit score even if you're doing all of that right. Because the best way to build your credit score is to have a credit card. So if you don't have a credit card and you're paying everything with a debit card or cash or something, then you're not building up your credit score at all, even if you are making all of those payments. So basically the ways that you can build your credit are through having and paying off a credit card or having and paying off loans. But honestly, a credit card is the best way. But if you do have loans like student loans, a house loan, whatever, paying those off and maybe setting up a plan to pay some off every month or something like that, and sticking with that will also help you build your credit. So most credit cards will basically build up everything that you add to it throughout the month, and then you will get a bill at the end of the month. So it is important that you pay off that bill in full every single month by the time that it is due. Credit cards will often give you a minimum balance kind of thing. They can say, oh, let's say that your bill at the end of the month is $300. They may say, oh, but you need to pay a minimum of $50 or something like that. Sure, you could pay that $50, but then that leftover $250, they're gonna keep adding on interest too. And if you don't pay that $250 by their deadline, then you get in a lot of trouble. So just pay it in full every month, and sometimes people think like, $300, holy cow, like how did I spend that much in a month? And it can look intimidating when you get a really big bill every single month instead of if you were paying with a debit card, you kind of don't even see the money go away because it just gets taken straight out of your bank account and you never really see everything that you're spending. So when you get a credit card, you might think that it's a whole lot, but you would have been spending that money anyway. And also, if it is a lot, then maybe that's a sign that you're spending too much. Like, don't spend more than you have. Be sure to make a budget for yourself so that you don't overspend on your credit card. And credit cards will have limits. So like when I first got my credit card, it was set at $1,000. I could not spend more than $1,000 that month. But now that I've had it for a while, they've actually bumped it up to $2,000. So now I can use up to $2,000 every month. Now, of course, that doesn't matter that much to me because I'm a student and I'm only using this for myself. I do not spend anywhere near $2,000 every single month. But it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and once I start spending for more people, like my own family or whatever, it's going to get much bigger, and I will need a good credit score so that I can actually spend and use all of that money that I hopefully have in the future. So basically, yeah, you just get good credit by paying off your bills, your credit card bills every single month, paying them in full, showing that you are responsible with your money. So how do you get bad credit? This could happen through not paying your bills every month, filing for bankruptcy, having home foreclosure, maxing out your credit card, or even applying or closing a credit card. So yes, applying for a credit card does technically hurt your credit score because they will go in and dig deep through your credit score history. I'm not totally sure how it works, but I think when you apply and they have to go and look through your credit score, that hurts it a little bit, but it does not hurt your credit score if you go and look at it. So if you want to, you can go and look at your credit score through places like Credit Karma, or I can just through my app that I have with my credit card company. I don't do it often, but it's helpful to know and see if you have a good credit score, I suppose. But if you do end up missing a payment or something like that and it hurts your credit score, it's not a good thing. It's going to stick with you for years. It could honestly take 10 years to build that back up. So basically just make sure that you start building a credit score really early on. I would suggest now if you haven't. If you are going off to college or something, there's lots of good options for college students specifically. But basically you want to start building that credit score as early on as you can because it's going to build off of each other, and basically the longer you've had it, the better your score is going to be. So right now, the only thing hurting my credit score is the fact that I haven't had a credit card for that long. I've had it for about a year or so. So to them it's okay, great, you've demonstrated for a year that you are financially responsible, but we want to see even more long term that you are financially responsible. So the longer that you have it and the longer that you keep paying those bills and showing that responsibility, the better your score is going to be. And credit cards have a ton of other benefits as well. I feel like it's so much better than a debit card. A debit card, you're just paying the money, it comes straight out of your bank account, and that's the end of it. A credit card, you build it up and you get rewards and stuff back. So I believe I get 1% back on every single purchase I make, and I get 5% back on select purchases that they have. Right now, if I buy something on Amazon, I'll get 5% back. I think last month or so it was if I bought things at grocery stores or gas stations or things like that. All credit cards are going to have different rules about what percentage you get back. So try to find one that fits best with you and maybe goes with what you spend a lot of money on. There's also a lot of airline credit cards or credit cards through specific companies. So if you buy something through that specific company, you're going to get more percent back on that purchase. Or instead of actually getting money back, you could earn mileage points for an airline. So if you fly a lot, that could be a really good option for you. Basically just do your research in that to see which kind of credit card fits you best and is going to give you the most benefits. And what's also nice about a credit card is you get your statement at the end of each month and it has all of your charges on it. So I suggest you get that and look through all of your charges and make sure that they're all good and correct. If you're someone who likes to keep all of the receipts and double check everything with your statement, you can do that as well. But that gives you a chance to look through it and make sure everything is correct. Whereas a debit card, it just comes straight out of your account, and someone I feel could easily use it and take that money out of your account, and it's harder to get it back rather than a credit card where you get it and you can check if it's all right, and if there is an issue on there, you can bring it up then, and hopefully that issue will get resolved sooner because that money hasn't actually been taken out of your account yet. So yeah, that's pretty much the basics of what a credit is and what your credit score is, what it reflects. Again, just start early, and I really recommend that you get a credit card if you don't have one so that you can start building that score and demonstrating your financial responsibility, showing that you are trustworthy and can pay back your money, because then people will be a lot more lenient when loaning you money. If you have any extra information or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below so that others can see them, because we're all learning together here. Getting a credit card can seem really intimidating at first, but I promise it's going to pay back in the long run. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, subscribe if you want to stick around, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!